Today in this video, I'm going to be giving you a full-on oil pastel guide from the history of oil pastels to how to use them and create beautiful masterpieces. So stay tuned to the end to see how this turns out. So make sure to like and subscribe and grab your oil pastels and let's get started. Before I show you all the tips and tricks using oil pastels, let me first tell you about the history of oil pastels and how they were invented. Oil pastels were invented in 1925 by a Japanese art company called Sakura. Sakura's goals was to create an art supply that was easy to use, safe, and not messy. Especially for students in classrooms, oil paints were beautiful but required cleanup, which made them impractical for schools. Sakura wanted something simpler but still rich and colorful. As time went on, artists discovered that oil pastels weren't just for kids. They were great for layering, blending, and expressive artwork. Their bright colors and soft feel helped oil pastels gain popularity all around the world. Today, they're loved by beginner artists and professional artists, all thanks to Sakura's clever idea to make art more playful, colorful, and accessible. And with that, let's start working on our illustration for today. For the first part of this drawing, we're going to start with an easy, simple sketch. For this sketch, I'm going to be trying to do a strawberry that is dipped in chocolate. I'm just going to be using simple shapes like triangles and then detailing those shapes to make it look more like a strawberry. Follow along as you can see in this video and try to get the shape that I'm getting here. Take your time, be slow, and just try your best to get a strawberry-like looking shape with chocolate dripping on the bottom. If you need to, use a reference off Pinterest or so to get the perfect strawberry shape, but I'm just doing the chocolate drizzling off the strawberry. This does not need to be a super detailed sketch. This is just for the beginning of the drawing, so don't worry about it looking perfect, because once you add the oil pastels to the drawing, it is going to look way more live and way more realistic. So like I said, don't worry about getting this super duper detailed. So now that I've gained the basic shape I'm using, I'm going to lightly sketch on the highlights. These are the areas that you're going to leave blank to add highlights with them. And after that, I'm going to draw the leaves on this yummy strawberry. So like I said, use simple shapes like triangles and rectangles when you're drawing the leaves, and then go back on the leaves, pressing harder on your pencil. And once you have that done, you're just going to add some seeds to the strawberry. And don't worry about covering the whole entire strawberry with seeds. I'm going to be using these seeds just for highlights. Once you have the seeds, grab your kneaded eraser. A regular eraser is fine as well, but we're just going to lighten the sketch before we go over it with oil pastels. And with that, you have finished the sketch. Now that we have finished our sketch, we're going to start by outlining it. Note when you're outlining this, it does not need to look perfect. If you messed up at a part or something like that, it does not matter, because we are going to be adding lots and lots of layers of colors, so you will not even see this outline. When your outline is done, we're going to add a little bit of green around the strawberry, highlighting over the strawberry seeds and just adding green as a shadow. So you're only going to be using this green on the outside. After you have that green layer, we're going to add purple, layering it on top of that green to make the shadow have a higher and darker contrast. And with that, we're going to use a red oil pastel filling in the inside of the strawberry. However, as you're doing this process, make sure you do not color inside of the seeds. Keep those blanks and fill them with yellow. Now we're using our colorless blender and going to blend this all in together. With that, let's start working for the chocolate drizzle on top of this. We're going to start by using a light blue oil pastel and coloring in the whole entire chocolate drizzle, but leaving the highlights blank. You still have that big highlight at the top that is not filled in. Through this whole entire process, do not fill that in. Going in with our purple oil pastel, we're going to use this for a light shadow. Just layer a little bit on top of the blue oil pastel, but just make sure you're not pressing on hard and trying to fill in the whole area. Press a little bit harder when we're using this orange color just to make the purple highlights brighten a little bit more. I know this might seem kind of weird, like why are we using all these crazy colors to make a chocolate drizzle? Why wouldn't I just go over with brown? This, my friend, is called color theory. The reason why I'm using color theory is so I can get all of these colors to peak, making sure they shine their brightest and look as vibrant and colorful as they can. If I just went over this with a chocolate color or like chocolate-ish brown oil pastel, the colors wouldn't shine as much, and it would take a lot more colors to make this strawberry look chocolatey brown. So just trust the process here, bear with me, and follow the color theory that I'm using, and in the end you're going to get amazing results. So with that, I'm using a variety of browns at this point now that I have the main layer on, going over with the oranges and red and purples. With oil pastels, it's almost like acrylic markers where you can go over a color and erase almost, but not really. You see, with acrylic, you can go over a color and erase it. When you're using oil pastels, you can go over a color, but it's not going to completely erase the other color, but smoothly overlap the other color. It's a big difference with there, but you almost have the same effect. But trust me, when I'm using this color theory, the colors are going to pop way more. But just follow in this video, do the color theory perfectly if you can, and we're using our browns. We're using our light browns or dark browns, any shade of browns. Like right now, I'm using a lighter brown to start adding the highlight on the edges. On the edges of the strawberry, you want it to be more of a lighter contrast, but as you get to the drizzly part, I'm using a purple, and with this, now I'm going to start using my white oil pastel and adding some highlights. For the highlights, I like to go on the rims, on the outside, and especially right here, I'm coloring this whole area white for the highlight. And with that, let's start working the leaves. For the leaves, we're going to use a dark blue. This is going to be for the shadows. On top of that dark blue, go over it with a red, and with that, we're going to use this dark lime green color, trying to blend out the blue and the red, and slowly start to make it lighter and lighter, and even use yellow for the tip of the leaf top to get that yellow and go over it. We're just going to be doing a lot of layering, going dark to light, back and forth, so you can get the perfect leaf texture. But at the end, make sure you overline it with that yellow. And now here, I'm working on the strawberry, touching up the chocolate drizzle as much as I can, doing a ton of blending, a lot of things like that to make this strawberry drizzle look nice and delicious. As you can see here, I'm working of the highlights of the strawberry in the middle. I want it to be nice and bright and of course very vibrant. And with that, you have finished your drawing. If you like this video and would like to see more content like this, make sure to go hit that subscribe button down below to help out my channel to see more great, amazing tutorials like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, Squeaks, and see you in the next video.